So the first video that Lindsay checked out about Fred Dibnah was him taking down that massive chimney. And obviously she was pretty impressed by that, as was I. And so we thought it was about time to check out some more Fred Dibnah stuff, because he is definitely a very interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this is. I'm not really sure laddering a chimney. I don't know what that entails.
Well, you remember...
Sounds scary.
Well, yeah, but you remember how we were pointing out, or how I pointed out on the chimney fail video.
Oh,
that
yeah, the ladder that's going up.
The ladders weren't there, like, attached to it. He had to attach the ladders.
Okay, yeah, I'm nervous.
And so that's what we're going to be looking at, is how he does that.
Oh, all right.
So, anyways, guys, I think Lindsay's going to be pretty impressed with this. So, it's been a long time since I've seen this type of stuff, so I'm excited too.
Well, basically, this is sort of a packing that keeps the ladder off the wall of the chimney, so there's room for your boots for.
He looks different in this video to me.
Probably a number of different years later.
One that, tying them on with string is time-consuming and all that, which it is.
That looks like some flimsy string.
Pulled up the side.
What? That looks like floss.
Well, he's not actually. The ladders aren't hung by this string here. Okay, this is just the spacer so that the ladder's not butt up against the chimney itself. It's a spacer so that, like you said, you have room for your boots to go between the ladder rungs.
It doesn't look very strong and sturdy.
Yeah, but that's not actually holding anything up. That is just a spacer, so that's fine, because he's not actually stepping on that. I mean, I don't think he's still stepping on it, but either way, it's not really, the weight of yourself is not on that.
Okay.
Kind of the chimney, by my mate here, it bangs against something. It only busts a string, like the other school of thought is have a metal construction that's bolted to the ladder, which when that hits an iron band or something like that, it busts the bloody ladder, you see. String is cheaper than brand new ladders. Here we are drilling the first hole in which there is an hole actually there that's just been pointed up. So knocking the first dog, which will be the hole fast at the base of the first ladder, as you might say.
He does all this by hand?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The amount of patience you would have to have for a job like this, no way. There's no way I could do it.
Like when you remember when he was taking down the chimney and just brick by brick.
Oh my gosh.
By brick.
Also, the concrete, did you see the concrete patches or whatever there? It was marked with his initials.
Where he's probably done this chimney before, and so he's probably already, he had to patch up the holes that he put in for his dogs.
I was wondering if he did that ahead of time for this purpose.
Then goes the plugwood, which, as you can see, it don't go in very far, but it's quite far enough, it's quite safe.
Quite safe.
That's what's termed as a dog. Then I'm going to knock in now. And the next stage...
That does not look deep enough to me, buddy.
Lashing, and it's a piece of rope about 5 foot long with a loop spliced on one end, as you can see. The next stage is to prop up a ladder and climb up it as though you were going up to clean the bedroom window. And then about 5 feet from the top of that ladder, you drill another hole, but in our case the hole's already there. You drill another hole.
How did he drill these?
Straight above the one below as you can get it. And insert another piece of plugwood.
Guys, if anyone knows, back when he was doing this, and since, they've been doing this well before you had a battery-powered drill or electric drill even. So what kind of drill did they have? Was it just one of those hand-cranked drills?
You would think that wouldn't be enough power to get through concrete.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Maybe they had to go in and hit it and break the concrete a little bit at first, and then they were to put the drill in, and it would get it would get going. Maybe. Yeah.
And another dog.
Oh my goodness.
And the other thing you got to keep in mind is making sure he's in the same as the first one, vertically up instead of like over. Yeah.
Crooked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not very far in right there.
Higher up, the holes have a tendency to get a bit deeper. I think it's called fear.
Wow. He's got this down to a science.
Everything he does is down to a science. It's
I guess
pretty amazing.
Something's this dangerous.
The first ladder is in position.
Now, whoops, well, you can still see this. You see what he's talking about? If he did not have those spacers, imagine how hard it would be to walk up that ladder. Like, where's your boots? Your boots literally would have like an inch or two on the end.
You flush against.
Yeah, you literally wouldn't have much room to step, and that would be pretty dangerous.
And I'm about to tie it onto the bottom dog, or the bottom holdfast, which, you know, that's where the beer belly comes in handy. It's sort of round the hook, round the side of the cheek of the ladder, under the rung, round the hook, round the other cheek of the ladder, round the rung, and then back round the rung below, and a 12-inch on, and that's got it fast. It will not come off.
Isn't that cool?
Also, is use as much of the rope up as you can, because in a gale, the ends start to blow.
Yeah, that looks like too much.
Comes off the end of the rope, and then you've got one with like a cat o' nine tails end on it.
You know what's crazy to me? As you see him walking up, you're like, okay, the top is not fastened yet.
I saw that. It was wiggling.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, this just goes to show you how much experience, how much time he had done this, how many times he had done this. Like, to have that much faith in your bottom rope, you know, it's just pretty amazing.
Well, when you're at the ground,
it's a little bit easier, but still, you wouldn't want to fall from that height right there.
I wouldn't want to. No.
That is the pulley wheel to pull up the next ladder. Here, the next operation is to tie the ladder to the top dog, or the top holdfast that you've just knocked in, without tying it to the haulage rope, you know, because you sometimes, if you're not paying attention, or you're trying to talk to somebody who's mithering you on the floor, you end up lapping it around. You see how easy it would be.
Man, some hard work, man.
The haulage rope.
Like, think about what he's doing right now.
This is just the preparation to do the job.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, all right, I'm done.
And imagine having to come in and actually drill the holes on a chimney you haven't been in it before.
Yeah. Like,
that'd be
just
crazy.
The amount of prep work involved.
Yes, so much prep work.
Before you even get to the long, arduous project.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That is now, the bottom ladder is now firmly fixed and as good as it'll ever be to the wall of the chimney. And the next operation is to climb up to the top of that ladder and sit astride the top iron rung and reach up as far as you can and drill another hole in the brickwork.
Oh,
which,
my
of course, it's very easy for me here, because having done this thing about 7 times before and used exactly the same holes every time.
That makes it easier, I'm sure.
This one, they'll definitely make it easier.
And where I'm going, and it's
quite
an easy operation to keep the whole stack of ladders in a very straight line.
Yeah, if I was doing this, my ladders would be all crooked.
I wanted to point out something. You know something I just realized that would be majorly different doing this when he was doing it and doing it now.
What?
Or at least in the U.S., I'm guessing the UK would have some sort of same regulations as this, but they would not allow you to do this
without being strapped into like a safety harness.
Well, probably that too, but I'm thinking the guy, his assistant on the ground, would have to be wearing a hard hat, because if those dogs fell,
no, he's not.
I mean, if the
that would kill you.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No.
If you're putting them up and you wander towards one side,
yeah, that thing.
When you're putting the staging up at
actually,
the top, and you've got
now how does he get the next ladder?
Maybe 2 foot gone a bit sideways.
System.
And say the other one's gone the other way. It looks rather an erratic effort at the top. You know, everything's out of line and out of square. Now this is where the tricky bit comes in. The second ladder is tied on approximately 9 rungs from the top, which is about midway. And of course, when it's being pulled up by the labourer or the man down below, we lose more or less half a ladder of a lap, which you'll see the reason for this shortly. The thing is, as that ladder comes up, or the second ladder comes up, on the bottom rung of it, there are 2 lashings, one of which I'm using now to tie the bottom rung to the nearest corresponding rung of the ladder that's stuck to the wall. I've got the other lashing round my neck, and the 2 steeplejack hooks which have come up with it are stuck in my belt. That's a secondary sort of safety precaution, the one with just a clovitch round the side, just in case that hook there that I've got my hand on, or the one that the pulley's on, if that happened to come out, I'd still be in with a chance, you know. The ladder would still be connected with 2 hooks to the bottom one. As you can see, it's slightly precarious there, how it shakes about, but once you've lashed it to that top hook, which is 5 foot above the bottom ladder, you've only got about 6 rungs above that are standing in free space.
Man, you do lose a lot of ladder here.
Unconnected to the chimney. It is now possible to unhook the pulley wheel and carry it up the back side of the ladder and hook it on the top iron rung, while you use one of the dogs that's stuck in your belt to, you know, get another purchase 5 foot higher up still, you see. And once you've drilled that hole and put the dog in, you can lift up the pulley wheel onto the dog, which of course one end of the rope is still attached to the ladder that you were sat on.
Like you were saying, the work just to prepare, the preparation is like, this is like the hardest work just to prepare for a job that's going to be a hard job.
The amount of grit it takes to be able to, and determination to finish a job like this is just incomprehensible almost.
And just imagine, you know, once you're done, like, let's say he was, I don't know if he, you know, sometimes he's going to be taking down a chimney. Sometimes he's just doing some work at the top of the chimney, right? Or like checking out to make sure it's still good or whatever, you know. But like, think about when he's taking down a chimney, he's going to have to be taking down those ladders as he's taking down the chimney. Or when after this job is done, he's got to come back and take down everything.
And then you'll see in a minute where when I come down and untie that ladder, my man at the bottom pulls and up goes the whole 21 pins of the ladder onto the top of the bottom ladder, which sounds unbelievably complicated, but it is quite a simple operation, really. Now it all comes loose and flops about in the wind. It's the dodgy bit when it's very windy, when you're 3/4 of the way up and the wind's trying to snap the ladder off sideways. It's quite exciting. And there's the secondary lashing on the side, and then finally the one at the bottom. When you've released it at the bottom, it's at the mercy of the man on the floor and the wind. Sometimes it's rather awkward when it's very windy and the ladders start twisting round.
I thought you left it like that.
That's pulling the thing up. It's now in the right position for fixing onto the sockets at the bottom, and of course you see how close to the top hook you know, it's being held against the wall by the man on the floor. Very important that the man on the floor is you've got his whole concentration.
Yeah, you gotta trust that guy.
That's why it's better using
the guy's job is very important
too,
but who has a tendency to wander off looking at ladies' skirts and things like that. Because if he disappears, you fall off.
Oh, man.
All right, you got to trust that guy.
That's the second ladder up, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, man. I mean, look at that, dude. Look at that.
I have to remind myself he's not, like, he's just free, like, not strapped in anything.
Right.
This method of laddering factory chimneys is quite a recent sort of invention, you know, like 1870s period. A bit before then, they actually flew kites to get string across the tops of chimneys, you know, a right weird situation.
What?
When they were you know,
Doesn't
the
sound
beginning
very
of the
precise.
Industrial Revolution when they started
They used to fly
erect chimney stacks.
What?
I don't understand. Like, how would you even...
So they fly a kite that's got
string on it.
A string. I don't know what they mean by string. What he means by strings. You mean like a thick rope, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How does that... Okay, do they have it go across the chimney, pull it tight on both sides, and then to the ground, and then they climb up the rope?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I don't know. I would love to see how that's done. Because that sounds crazy.
I'm just way too clumsy for a job like this.
Do you see him?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any hands on the ladder.
Literally just got his leg. One leg.
Yeah, one leg.
Draped over. Like it's everyday thing.
No big deal.
Is, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm too clumsy to do something like that.
Yeah. I would definitely hear about you in the newspaper.
Up. You've more or less conquered it in a way, how you actually do the job. The thing is, you just keep repeating the process. 9 rungs from the top, 2 lashings on the bottom, and 2 dogs.
Oh, just keep repeating this over and over and over and over again.
While I'm hanging in the air.
Yeah.
And the end of the pulley wheel and the rope. The important thing not to do is let the rope run through the block and go tumbling down, which means that you've got to come down and get the end of the rope and carry the thing.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
Which 200 foot of hemp rope is fairly heavy. And by the time you've got back to the top with it, you're getting a bit out of breath.
Oh, man, 200 feet of that thick rope would be pretty heavy carrying. But, I just realized, just like, at the beginning, he's putting the spacers on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess he does that to save room in his truck.
To not assemble it.
Yeah, I started to say, I would probably just
prep it before.
But if you did, it would take up a lot more room. So I guess that's why he does that.
The other thing is, the higher up you get, and the harder it gets, because, of course, the guy at the bottom has got to pull the ladder up further, and you've got to send the end of the rope down further. So the progression towards the top as you get higher, it slows down a bit. This, basically, is an inspection to give a quote for any forthcoming repairs that need sorting out.
All of this for an inspection.
What?
He's doing all this to just inspect the chimney.
The first job I ever did were
send a drone over that thing. Obviously back then they didn't have, but oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy when you think about it.
I wonder why he got paid for something like this, because that's a lot of work.
I remember taking down that chimney. It was a decent bit, but I mean, it was a lot of work and took a long time, but it was a pretty large amount for the time.
An inspection.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
These patches I pointed up, they were some very poor quality steeplejacks, damaged the brickwork, didn't know how to work an hammer and chisel. It's always policy to leave the ladders there until you've come to the financial arrangement with the management.
Yeah.
That's what I was just saying.
About whether they're going to have it done or not.
Oh.
Man, that's getting high.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's getting really high.
Fastened in.
Oh. Can you imagine sitting right there?
No.
Addled. All
Oh my gosh.
It's a shame, really.
The anxiety is up now.
Getting near the top, it's always like that,
Oh.
The bricks, look at the bricks there. They look uneven. You see that? Mm-hmm. I think another thing to think about is this guy is not 20 years old, 30 years old, even 40 years old. This guy's like, I think he's like in his 50s
got a lot
now.
of experience at that point. So
right.
Some of them are loose.
wonder how many feet that is.
I don't know. He said something about 200 feet earlier. I don't know if he was saying this particular chimney or just that's an average or something.
King of the castle. The view used to be quite interesting in this area. There were numerous collieries, which the last of which disappeared a few months ago, and lots of mill chimneys. And I think you can see about 4 left now out of all of them, out of dozens and dozens. Not very far away, there's the parish church of Atherton, which has got a distinct list on it through the mining subsidence. Well, that's it now. We've nearly conquered it.
This is obviously very impressive.
Yeah.
And I know he said it's simple, but simple, I think it probably is once you get used to it, but not easy.
Down.
I don't think this would ever be easy. It's still a lot of hard work.
Because I think even someone with as much experience as he had, you're still going to have that, like, you know, a little nervous feeling, like, if you got any sense anyway. And because that's really high up.
Yeah.
And just to be unsecured and any little mistake.
Yeah, no kidding.
Much respect to this profession.
Yeah, much respect to Fred, much respect to this profession. It is definitely very unique and definitely something that not everybody can do.
No.
And what'd you think about the laddering itself? Like, it's just pretty amazing. You wouldn't have expected this to be how he put these ladders up.
No.
When you first see the ladders, you never expected he was the one that actually put the ladders on to get to the top of the chimney.
I just thought when they built it, they
had
that.
Because it seems like I've seen chimneys that have a ladder on the side of them. I swear I have, in my head at least.
Like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe some chimneys they did. Maybe they started doing that with more modern chimneys, and the older chimneys they didn't or something. I don't know. But he's right. Like, they built these, I guess, not realizing, not even thinking ahead of time when they first started building these tall chimneys. Like
how
back in the
service them.
I don't know when that would have been, the late 1700s, early 1800s, maybe early. I don't know. But like, how were they going to service them? And then they're like, oh wait, because they built them from the inside, so they're not thinking about it. But I don't know. You got anything you want to add before we go?
No, just very impressive. Really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not the one doing it.
Yeah, me too. Guys, let us know in the comments what we should check out along these lines. We really like this sort of thing. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow our journey to discover anything and everything about the UK and Ireland. And until next time, guys, peace.